Good morning. Oh, wait. Good morning. It is 7:57 a.m. on Thursday, June 11th, 2020. I'm Christiana Ellis, and I just got up. This is 5 more minutes. Actually, been playing around a little bit on the floor, playing with this little dog who is a little rambunctious this morning, as you just heard. He's now gone out and settled a little bit to chew on a rawhide scrap while looking at me with sad eyes. Um, we're doing okay here. I don't know, I'm feeling a little stressed. Uh, just, I talked a little while ago about doom scrolling, and I kind of got into a little bit of that again. Yesterday and then even this morning, where I think it's just the accumulation of stress from all sorts of things. And again, it's like every time I talk about this, like I want to highlight that I'm aware that I have the privilege to be more immune to a lot of these things than there are people who are suffering a lot more from all of this than I am, for a variety of reasons. So, that said, I mean, this is certainly more going on than usual. I think what's causing the current, spike of anxiety in me is the pandemic coming back in some places. Not that it ever really went away, but just that, we are seeing the predictable rise in cases in certain places. But the problem is just that I think it's less even like where the anxiety is coming from is not even so much the bad situation that there are places that are now seeing this exponential growth again, seeing hospitals get full again. The Instead, what we're seeing is that everything is complex enough that people with all sorts of agendas can cherry pick the data to make it mean whatever they want it to mean. And I think what actually stresses me out about it is the feeling that consensus reality is breaking down. And again, it's like, that's not, I was going to say it's not a rational concern, but I guess what I just mean is that it's been true for a while that you're going to have people who just live in a completely separate set of facts regardless of what's really going on. But just when something's complicated, it's like people who don't believe in vaccinations and that's that sort of thing, where it's just like, I don't know what you do with people who fall down conspiracy theory rabbit holes like that. It's scary. I've talked about that in the past. And so when you have some of that stuff where it actually amounts to like life and death based on personal individual behaviors, and then so it's just like the idea that all of the protests and it's wonderful to see that the protests, and in particular a lot of the I personally was kind of already on this side, but I think that there are a lot of people whose opinions have moved on during this whole protest cycle, just from seeing video after video of the police responding violently to people who were not being violent. And that's not to say that there weren't some people in the protests who were being violent. Of course, that was happening for a variety of complicated reasons. But there's also lots and lots of evidence of the police being violent to people who were not being violent. And guess what? the protesters could be anyone who wants to show up. The police are the people that we are theoretically paying to protect us and serve us, and so like it should be a higher threshold of expectation for them. Uh, okay, I'm yeah. So I'm not coming to this discussion from a like a coherent place right now. So I'm kind of just rambling, not making a solid point. I guess what I was just going to say is it's good to see that there's been some momentum built towards reform, and I can only hope that that can be hammered into some useful and productive policy changes, because I think that's what's needed, not just people's opinions changing. But we'll see. But in the meantime, there's a lot of people who still disagree with all of that, and also a lot of people who, think that the whole COVID-19 is a manufactured conspiracy, and I just, that stuff is just so exhausting and makes me want to just curl into a ball on the floor. I'll be okay, but yeah, this is just more stressed about it this morning than, this is a new peak in my stress. I hope everyone else is doing okay. I will be okay because, like I said, this is, I would say don't worry about me, but I can imagine lots of you out there are also feeling stressed, so we can at least be stressed in unison. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow for 5 more minutes. How about that?